This is problem 18 from page 381. It's out of topic 11.2 over sum and difference formulas. You should have three versions of the sum and difference formulas on your reference card and in your notebook. The first of those is for sine of u plus v. That's equal to sine of u cosine v, we're going to do this as plus and minus, is plus or minus cosine u sine of v. The important thing to recognize here is that these signs are the same. If there is a plus here, there will be a plus here. If there's a minus here, there will be a minus there. Those signs are always the same. The next one is cosine of u plus or minus v is equal to cosine of u cosine v minus plus sine u sine v. And here, this sign and this sign are opposites. So if this one is a plus, this will be a minus. If this is a minus, this will be a plus. Those alternate. And then finally, there's tangent of u plus or minus v is equal to tan of u plus or minus tangent of v. Try to remember to put crossbars on my v's so you can tell what they are. And then this is 1 minus plus tan u tan v. So what that means is if this is a plus, and that's a minus. If this is a minus, this is a minus, and this one is a plus. So you need to be sure that you keep straight what those are. Again, you should have those in your notebook and on your reference card. Now, for this particular problem, we have the instructions to find all 6 trig function values for 255 degrees is equal to 300 degrees minus 45 degrees. Now, this is the angle that we want sine, cosine, tangent, and the other 3 functions for. The problem is just giving us that 255 is equal to 300 minus 45. So this is what we're going to plug into the sum and difference formula. So we're going to do sine of 300 degrees minus 45 degrees. That's what we're actually going to calculate. Well, using our sum and difference formula, that's sine of 300 cosine 45 minus cosine of 300 cosine of 45. Okay. So that's equal to sine of 300 is minus square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Minus cosine of 300, well, that's a half. And cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. So that tells us that the sine of 300 minus 45, which is 255, is minus square root of 6 over 4 minus square root of 2 over 4, or minus square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over 4. And then if that's the sine of 255, then the cosecant of 255 is just the reciprocal, 4 minus square root of 6 plus square root of 2. Okay? In a AP class, AP test, you might need to rationalize that denominator by multiplying the numerator and denominator by square root of 6 minus square root of 2, but for our purposes, just showing the reciprocal like that is fine. Now, we need to find cosine of 255 is cosine of 300 minus 45, which is equal to cosine of 300, cosine of 45, plus, remember the signs are opposite, sine of 300, sine of 45. Okay. So that's equal to cosine of 300, that's still a half. Cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Plus sine of 300 is minus square root of 3 over 2. And sine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. So the cosine is square root of 2 over 4 minus square root of 6 over 4, which is square root of 2 minus square root of 6 over 4. And that means the secant of 255 is just the reciprocal of that, which is 4 over square root of 2 minus square root of 6. That leaves us with one more thing that we need to do, and that's tangent of 300 minus 45 is tangent of 300 minus tangent of 45 over 1 plus, remember that sign alternates, tangent of 300, tangent of 45. So that's tangent of 300, look at your unit circle, you'll see that's a minus square root of 3. Tangent of 45 is 1 over 1 plus a minus square root of 3 times 1. So that's minus square root of 3 plus 1 over 1 minus square root of 3. And that's the tangent. Now, we can leave it just like that. I have to rationalize the denominator for my purposes. I'm perfectly fine with that. But another way of doing this is to say that tangent of 255 is equal to the sine of 255 over the cosine of 255. And we just calculated both of those. We said the sine of 255 is a negative square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over 4. And the cosine is square root of 2 minus square root of 6 over 4. Well, the over 4's cancel, and that leaves us with the tangent is minus square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over square root of 2 minus square root of 6. Now, is that the same as what we had before? If we factor a square root of 2 out of everything, so we get a minus square root of 2, that gives me square root of 3 minus 1, and on the bottom we factor out square root of 2, that gives me 1 minus square root of 3. The square roots of 2 cancel, and I'm left with exactly the same thing that I got here. So either way is fine for doing that. And that's how you use the sum and difference formula.